Hi everyone, it's Derek from the iReady podcast here, and this is my reaction to the 2-0 loss against Slavia Prague in the Europa League last 16 leg 2 tonight, which meant we went out 3-1 in aggregate. Disappointed, absolutely. It was just a step too far tonight, but you really can't be angry with the players. They've put in one hell of a season. Obviously the season's still not over yet, but they've done the main thing, which was win the league. They have been immense in Europe this year. You really can't take it away from them, and we are now undoubtedly again a European team, and a very, very good one at that. I mean, there was a stat that came out as well. Over the last 3 seasons, Steven Gerrard has lost just 6 of his 45 games in Europe with Rangers. That is nothing short of astonishing, and that's why you cannot be angry with the players tonight. Absolutely, there are learning points to be made. When it gets to this level, every player has to be on his peak performance for 95 minutes of that game. Sadly, that wasn't the case tonight, but it was a step too far. But you can only be absolutely proud of the players for their efforts, and I'm not going to have a go at them at all. The game itself, we had 2 changes from the leg last week. Rather strangely, I felt that Balogun was brought in for Helander. Helander played immense last week, and for Balogun to be brought in, Balogun's a good player, but I just felt Helander had the reckoning of it, how solid we were in defence last week. But we started off brightly, and then it kind of quickly dissolved into much of the same. It was really another poor half from us in the first half, where we again never got to grips with it. I really don't think Slavia were as dominant as they were in the first half of the first leg, but they were clearly the better team. It was a scrappy half, I felt. We couldn't get a rhythm going at all. We couldn't get the break of the ball. We were poor going forward. We were crowded out when we were trying to go through the middle, and then when we were going down the wings, the ball was either overhit or it was crosses to nobody. The referee was blowing for everything tonight. There was a lot of niggly fouls with the Slavia players going down really easily. I think we didn't help ourselves on occasion as well. We kind of got suckered into that. The ball was bobbling quite a bit. We couldn't get to grips with the game at all. Slavia's goal though came on the 14th minute. They were knocking the ball about. It was a simple ball to the left side. The boy controlled it. He looked up. It was a good cross into the box. The attacker ran in unmarked. He gets his head to it. He headed it down to the near post and into the back of the net. My mates don't think this is the case. They just think it was a good header, which it was, absolutely. But I thought McGregor was really poor in this one there. There's no way he should be getting beat at the near post when he was actually really tight on the post as well. In fairness though, we had let Slavia down that side a number of times up until the goal, and you could have seen it coming, to be honest, because we flapped about a wee bit. That's something that they undone us with last week as well, just down that left side, and obviously with Patterson covering that, you can't have a go at the boy as well, but it's certainly not all his fault. Maybe the man beating him, but you know, the centre backs have got to do something as well. Into the second half, it was again kind of similar. Arfield came off in the 54th minute. Obviously we're chasing the game. Roof came on, a really positive substitution, and then I'm not going to blame the player here, but it was a really bad challenge. On the 60th minute, Roof got a straight red card. It was a long ball played into the Slavia box. Roof was running to get the ball into the box. He was clearly looking at the ball the whole way. The ball bounces high in the box. The keeper charges out. Roof goes for the ball at the same time, and the high boot of Roof catches him clear in the face. It was a horrible, horrible challenge, a horrible contact. As I said, you can't really blame Roof for going for it. It was a complete accident. You can't blame the keeper for going for it either. It was just one of these things. Red card was a correct decision, even though it was an accident. At the same time though, I've always questioned the whole high boot thing, because at the same time you've got to go for it. It was a complete accident, completely unsighted of the keeper, I felt, but a red card was the correct decision, unfortunately, in this case. And you've seen the injuries from the keeper, really, really bad, and I hope there's no long-term lasting effects there, and I hope he does get well soon, because that was a horrible one. We started to come back into it though after that. That red card seemed to galvanise us a wee bit, and we were getting forward. Patterson had a good chance no long after that, got the ball into the box on the right hand side, and he had a shot and it just went over the bar. However, it was all completely undone on the 72nd minute when it was a red card for Balogun for his second yellow card. It was coming. I felt he was being a wee bit clumsy on occasion. I can't remember the first yellow card, but this yellow card was a poorly timed challenge near the edge of the box, and you can have no complaints. It was just really, really clumsy, poorly timed, and I don't know, you've got to question the decision to put him in. Hindsight's a great thing though, isn't it? But again, I'm not going to have a big go. Free kick was given, and the direct free kick from there was up and over the wall into the top left bin. An absolute cracking free kick. McGregor did get his fingertips to it. He did scramble across his line. Could he have done better? I doubtful, to be honest. It was a perfect free kick, and I'm not going to blame anybody for that one there. I mean, that's the thing about the Slavia goals. Last week's one was an absolute peach of a goal, and the two tonight, certainly it was a great header for the first one and a peach of a free kick. I'm actually kind of glad that we've been beaten by really good goals, because the very few goals we have lost this year, this season so far, have been generally scrappy and poor defensive goals. At least tonight we've been beaten by cracking shots. Made a raft of substitutions at this point. Obviously, just give people a break. Obviously, going into the weekend, game was done at that point. No chance of coming back. Moment of controversy, and we've still to see what the outcome of this is going to be. But in the 87th minute, Goldson gives a foul away, and it was a foul. It was a yellow card offence, but during the actual process of it, he still tries to go for the ball, which it was kicked off the chest of the Slavia player who was on the deck, and he made a meal of it. He acted like he was hit in the face. There was a big stramash at this point. Kamara was just watching on what was happening, and one of the Slavia players came over, cupped his ear, and whispered something in his ear. Completely, instantly incensed him, and it looks as if Zungu had heard something as well, and there's claims of racism as well getting heard, and Gerrard was incensed at the end as well, and Ross Wilson was down there at the end of the game having big words with the players and the management as well. So this will hopefully all come out in the wash. If it has been this, I wish Rangers had just brung the players off at that point. If it has been proven to be racism, and obviously it's just speculation at this point as at the time of recording, then obviously something needs to be done about it. There is absolutely no place for it in the game. I'm not asking for Slavia to be chucked out, that's certainly not, but there needs to be a hard line towed with this one here, and certainly players have heard it by the look of it, so we'll see what comes from that. But the players, as I said, they off form tonight, absolutely. It was a step too far, but they've been immense, so I cannot have anything bad to say about them. And there's been already a lot of stupidity on Twitter in terms of, it was embarrassing, it's a joke, the players should have been better. I'm not going to have it. Just if you see that on Twitter, just ignore them and block them, because folk like that really don't know what they're talking about when it comes to it. Considering where we've came from, considering where we are now a force in Europe. There's no mistake in that. Our form this year has been immense. We've again got to the last 16 of a European competition. It was an incredible achievement, and as I rhymed out the stat earlier on, what else can you say about that? But we need to pick ourselves up. We've got an Old Firm game to win at the weekend. It's, the league's done. It's all about pride for both teams now, bragging rights. We want to keep our unbeaten run in the league going. We'll just need to wait and see what happens there. So, obviously, I've just uploaded the main podcast, slightly out of date now, and you can see it's a 2-hour epic. You can listen to that at all the usual outlets. So, I'll be back with a post-match after the Old Firm game on Sunday. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.